Any high amount of dopamine that comes to you without effort before will eventually destroy you.
You used to smoke, right? So if I came to you today and I offer you a cigarette, what would you say?
Yes, sir.
You'd say
Nobody or nobody. No, sir. No.
No, sir. No, sir. Nobody. Okay. Why?
Because I don't want it.
Yeah. Why?
Because doesn't make me happy anymore.
Most people, you wouldn't say, what brand is it? You go, no. And the reason why is you're no longer a smoker. It's not your identity. If you thought you're a smoker, you might go, well, what brand is it? Well, maybe I'll have one, whatever it is, right? It's like when people tell me, I'm on day 4 of not drinking or not smoking, I go, why are you counting? So you can tell people how many days you last this time before you go back again? It's like when you change your identity, I'm not one of those, you're not gonna do it anymore.
Addiction is a narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. A great life, however, is a widening of things that bring you pleasure.
Almost everything we think we know about addiction is wrong. You get a rat and you put it in a cage and you give it 2 water bottles. One is just water and the other is water laced with either heroin or cocaine. If you do that, the rat will almost always prefer the drugged water and almost always kill itself quite quickly. Professor Alexander comes along and he looks at this experiment and he noticed something. We're putting the rat in an empty cage. So Professor Alexander built a cage that he called Rat Park. In Rat Park, they don't like the drugged water. You go from almost 100% overdose when they're isolated to 0% overdose when they have happy and connected lives. What if addiction is an adaptation to your environment? Human beings have a natural and innate need to bond. And when we're happy and healthy, we'll bond and connect with each other. But if you can't do that because you're traumatized or isolated or beaten down by life, you will bond with something that will give you some sense of relief. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection.
Dopamine is not the pleasure hormone. It's a chase hormone. And the sooner you'll realize that, the sooner you'll be free.
The better it feels, the lower you're gonna feel afterwards, and the longer it will take you to get back to baseline.
I never met a drug addict in my life that didn't light a room up sober.
I just don't want to do it anymore.
It's like when someone says to me, I stopped smoking, it's been 8 days. And I say, why are you counting? So you can tell people how long you lasted this time?
And let me tell you this. If you've made it through addiction or mental illness, you have something. Because a lot of people don't. If you are still kicking today, battling those demons, you have something. Because a lot of people didn't wake up today because they couldn't make it. They couldn't cut it, and you fucking did.
And he looks back and decides that all those years he suffered, those were the best years of his life because they made him who he was. All the years he was happy, total waste. Didn't learn a thing.
The saddest part about my healing and recovery is knowing that I had the most friends when I was the worst version of myself.
If someone else spoke to me the way that I speak to myself, I'd have to kill that son of a because, I couldn't tolerate that. I don't know why I get so addicted to things. I don't know why we're just so mean to ourselves, man.
I just wanted to show the world that if mental health could bring somebody as big as me and as strong as me and, the stereotype heavyweight champion of the world to my knees, then it could bring anybody to the knees. And I thought to myself, if I can show the world that you can come back from it and to get back in shape and get back to the top, then anybody can do it.
Let's suppose that you have some difficult and distressing habit, like drinking too much. And you're assured that once you've become the victim of this habit, it's an extraordinarily difficult thing to get rid of it, and it requires intense willpower. It's as if you had said to the devil one morning, look, I'm going to get rid of you. I'm not going to have anything to do with you anymore. So the devil, who is an archangel and is terribly clever, and because he knows that you are getting out of his way, he surrounds you with greater temptations than you ever imagined. If you are going to outwit the devil, it's terribly important that you don't give him any advance notice.
I would always talk bad about myself in my head, like, you dummy, you idiot, you this and that, you should be doing better, you should. They say you should never should all over yourself. That's our phrase. Is that they told me it was my self-talk. Always, always, always talk good about yourself. Always talk positive about yourself. I was like, but that doesn't make sense. You're messing up. You're effing up. The breakthrough was I have a picture of myself at 6 years old. And I looked at that picture of that kid. Hey man, it changed everything. It changed the way I saw everything. And I said, would I ever call him an idiot? Would I ever call this little boy stupid? Never. Never.
Stopping your worst habit would change your life much faster than starting your best habit. Fix the leak before filling the bucket.
I didn't have no motivation to do it. That's another thing that mental health will give you. Zero motivation to do anything. Zero motivation to have a shave, zero to brush your teeth, even have a shower, nothing.
You're not a drug addict because you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit because you're a drug addict. You follow? Okay, all right. What I'm saying is, you didn't come out of the womb an evil person.
I was like so fucking lost.
Yeah. And who brought you back?
Me. I think you're the only person who can bring you back. Everybody can surround you. Everybody can say, hey man, what's going on? Are you all right? At the end of the day, you just have to take that love that you're offered and say, you know what, life is pretty fucking kick-ass.
I've been getting tons of emails, very heavy emails, from very young, mostly men, who are struggling with porn addiction, who are struggling with obesity, who want to kill themselves, insecurity, depression. But I'll tell you this right now, a lot of you follow people, you look up to people, you admire them, all these different things. A 1-minute video that you see on Instagram is not going to get you where you need to go. You got to change yourselves. Self-respect, self-discipline. Stay hard.
What happens when you decide you're going to do something other than drink? Okay. You got to get rid of all your friends, because all your friends are drunks, right? You got to get rid of probably a fair chunk of your family. All of your social habits are wrong, every single one of them. Everything you do that isn't work, that's alcohol related, that's your life, all that has to be replaced. You need a replacement.
If you want to finally break free from something, you have to understand what's actually keeping you there. Because it's not pleasure, that's the illusion. What Alan Carr explains is simple, but uncomfortable. The thing you think is giving you relief is the very thing creating the discomfort. Dopamine isn't happiness or pleasure. It's not satisfaction. It's just anticipation. A signal that says, maybe this will fix it. But it never does. Every time you chase it, you're not gaining anything. You are just temporarily easing the craving that it created in the first place. So you're not moving forward. You are running in a loop. The habit doesn't improve your life. It doesn't make you sharper, calmer, or more fulfilled. It just keeps you dependent. And the moment you see that clearly, something shifts. Because then it's not about giving something up. You are not losing pleasure. You are dropping an illusion that's been draining you. The version of you that's free doesn't rely on quick hits of dopamine to feel okay. They don't feed the cycle. They don't negotiate with it. They don't romanticize it. They don't miss it. Because they see it for what it is. And once you truly see it, you don't need willpower anymore. You just stop. Not because you're forcing yourself to, but because it no longer makes sense to continue.
You can't complain about being depressed, down, and your life's going shit if you're abusing drink and drugs. You just can't. I was doing the same thing. I thought I was suffering heavily hard with mental health and problems and stuff like that, but no, it was addiction, you know? So work on your addiction, work on cutting out the drink and drugs, then have a look at your mental health. And then if you're still struggling and you're not exercising, then look at that. And if you're exercising, you're clean and sober, and you've still got issues, then go and seek help.
You're wired so that exploration and positive emotion are basically the same thing. And the reason people like cocaine, for example, is because cocaine makes them feel like they're doing something high order worthwhile. One of the best ways of overcoming an addiction is to find something better to do. Maybe you like drinking, like maybe it's a great dopaminergic drug free. So you have lots of reason to drink. So then you stop drinking and you go through the withdrawal. Maybe that happens in a treatment center, but you go back to your normal environment and you relapse almost immediately. Partly why? You need something better to do. Pursuit of something worthwhile provides the kick that the drug had substituted for it.
If the only way that you can bear to be around your friends is to drink, you need better friends. And if the only sort of people that want you to be friends with them are when you're destroying your health along with them, then you definitely need better friends. Alcohol is the only where if you don't do it, people assume you have a problem. No one says, dude, why are you not taking it this evening? Like, do you not fancy smacking up tonight? Are we not going to get like blazed out of our mind? Like, no one says that, right? It's alcohol. Alcohol has a cultural position that is completely different to every other drug. And most people, I think, have it in the back of their mind that they probably would be a bit of a better person if they took a break from drinking. And people can get pretty upset when you start to throw into harsh contrast the errors and lapses that they know that they're making on a daily basis.
You can break your habit faster if you replace the reward before. You remove the behavior. Here's what I mean. If your habit gives you comfort, replace the comfort, not the habit. If your habit gives you escape, replace the escape, not the habit. Most people try to stop a habit cold, but nature hates a vacuum. Replacing the habit is better than just saying, I'm not gonna do anything this evening. I'm just gonna start doing nothing from now on. That's just not gonna work. For example, if you say to yourself, I'm gonna start eating healthy now. I'm never gonna reach for the chips. But if all you have in your snack drawer is chips, if you replace the habit and now you've got healthier alternatives, that's what you're gonna reach for.
Well, habits are very important because 95% of everything you do is based on your habits. One of my friends used to say, the key to success is to form good habits and make them your masters, as opposed to bad habits. He also said this, which was very interesting. He said, good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with.
I had a conversation with Alain de Botton toward the back end of last year, and he has this line. He says, the best men have been broken. I asked him, how can you tell? What do you mean, and how can you tell? He says, there's a look. There's a twinkle in the eye. There's a kind of humility. There's a humbleness. There's a recognition of their own limits, even if they're really high.
Addiction, alcoholism, is the only disease that if you recover from it, you become a better version than you were even before you had it. Think of that. That's magical.
I think when you have addiction, you want to do something that harms you. You know?
Is that what it is? Yeah. You want to fucking... Because it's control. It's like I want to control how I feel. So even if how I feel isn't great, there's a weird juxtaposition where it's like, if I have control over it, then that's... It's almost like you're the devil that's trying to kill you, you know? Does it make any sense?
So if you have control, like, so you have anxiety and you're worried about things, and so in order to kind of mitigate that, you do a little bit of damage to yourself so you have control over the damage.
Yeah, there's something about having control about how you feel. So even if you feel damaged, you still did it to yourself. There's like...
The self-destructive tendencies is a big part of addiction, you know?
Yeah, self-destructive. It's like, things feel so hectic right now. At least if I damage myself, then I'm the one doing it. I'm not just letting the world do it, right? In the moment, you don't see that doesn't have any value.
Right.
Afterwards, you're like, shit, that was dumb. But in the moment, that feels like at least I'm taking control of the situation, right?
The addiction wasn't your problem. Your addiction was your attempt to solve the problem. And the real question is, how did that problem develop? How come it's 7 billion human beings in the world you felt lonely? How come you lacked a sense of agency, control, authority in your life? Why were you in so much emotional pain? And everything you've said, the loneliness, the lack of power, the lack of control, the anxiety, these are forms of emotional pain. So my mantra around addiction is not why the addiction, but why the pain.
So heroin addiction, 25% of soldiers who went to Vietnam tried heroin. It was like an insane statistic. And in the US, 90% of heroin addicts who go to clinics relapse. So they have a 10% long-term success rate. Tough. The stats are completely reversed from people who got addicted or did heroin in Vietnam and then came back to the US. You could draw the line, which is, it's better to change your environment than to even do anything else, because what happens is you eliminate all the triggers and cues that are associated with the habit that you're trying to destroy. People are in the environment that they are addicted. They change environments and they go to a clinic. They change the environment, they change their behavior. And then they go back to the same environment and their behavior changes yet again to match the environment. And so it's like, if you want to change your actions, the easiest thing you can do is just change the environment. Because if you can do that, a lot of times, a lot of the negative things you have, you just don't get triggered. You don't get the cue for the behavior. It just gets extinguished.
Because that running away is what leads to addictions and illness and so on. Number 3, it's all worth it. It's worth going through all that suffering because this is what life is. And it's just worth being alive.
You take your phone, you're tossing it up like this. You can do this all day long, right? You're not worried about dropping it. But you take this phone and you put it over a 5-story balcony, and you, doing that makes your heart rate go up. You sweat, and you might actually drop your phone. The thing that you don't want to happen because you're overthinking it happens. Your life works the same way. By you trying to control outcomes and over-prepare and over-plan and what's gonna go wrong, that becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. This is my one interview and my one shot. Okay, I can't mess this up. Again, you're gonna be robotic and stiff. Thank you, we've seen enough. We'll contact you if we're moving forward. And no judgment, we all do this. When we over-attach to things, our results are worse, not better. The solution is to ease up, is to act more. Plan less, act more. If you're thinking too much, you're not acting enough.
If you can't watch this entire video, you probably have a dopamine addiction. But I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm actually gonna show you how to fix it. You're probably struggling with some bad habits right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna name them, you know what they are. Next time you get an urge to do one of these things, let's say it's to go and bust a nut, right? I don't want you to give in to that urge. I want you to observe the urge, because you are not your mind, you are simply the awareness behind your mind. Let's do it right now. I want you to take your attention away from your phone and onto everything around you. What can you see around you? What can you feel around you? What are you sitting on? What are you standing on? What can you smell? And then I want you to observe that you are observing these things. Next time you get an urge, do this. Do some deep breathing, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, and you'll be fine, brother. I can guarantee you.
There's a lot of people out there struggling with addiction and alcoholism. So, do you have any words of wisdom for somebody that's looking to make the change?
There's no formula, right? But what I always say is quitting drinking is a huge decision. It's a huge life change. Everything changes when you do that. B, can be extremely painful physically, which nobody ever talks about. They're always like, oh, you drank to whatever. Yeah, for sure. You drink because you're insecure, you're afraid, you're lying, you're a narcissist. Drinking makes you a narcissist. It's all about you. Another reason that no one ever mentions that you drink is because you have a physical need for it. It's physical too. So when you quit drinking, I told someone this morning, you need to be prepared for feeling very shitty and very shaky and having your sleep disrupted and feeling like you're gonna have a panic attack at all times. And that's all real, and you should just know that going in. And the third thing I always say is that it's so great to be sober because you don't have to lie at all. I always tell my children this, and I really believe it. It's a foundational belief for me that we're not good at lying about ourselves and that everyone already knows who we are. So no matter what it is, whatever the secret is that you're hiding and you think, I'm gay, but no one knows, or, I'm an alcoholic, but no one knows, or I used to smoke secretly, like at my in-laws' house. No one knows. Are you kidding? Everybody knows. Once you realize that, you're free.
You're much more than that experience. So that these words limit your capacities, your potentials. It's like when somebody says, I am an alcoholic. No, you're not. You may drink a lot and you may harm yourself, but that's not who you are. Who you are is a person who's had a lot of pain and you're trying to drown your pain with the alcohol. But you're not defined by that behavior. You're much more than that.
I'll tell you my favorite tool for mastering internal triggers. It's called the 10-minute rule. And the 10-minute rule says that you can give in to any distraction. Any distraction. Maybe it's smoking that cigarette if you're trying to quit. Maybe it's eating that piece of chocolate cake if you're on a diet, but not right now. You can give in 10 minutes. What that does is, we talked about psychological reactance. You're allowing yourself to acknowledge that you are in control, that you decide. What many people do is they have strict abstinence, right? Strict abstinence says, no, I will not do it, right? I won't eat sugar. I won't get distracted. I will do this. I will do that. As opposed to saying, hey, I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want. I choose not to go off track for the next 10 minutes. That's it. in 10 minutes, I can give into whatever I want. So now I'm in control. You know, the whole just say no technique, turns out, makes you ruminate and think about and have more discomfort around the thing you want, increasing these internal triggers, and that actually is what makes you give into that distraction. We know that with smoking, actually, it's very interesting. We're finding that nicotine is less and less part of the reason people get addicted to cigarettes. It's more about the rumination around, I want to smoke, but I can't. I want to smoke, but I shouldn't. I want to smoke, I want to smoke, I want to smoke. Fine, I'll finally smoke. Now I get relief. When you use this 10-minute rule and say, okay, I can give into that distraction in 10 minutes from now, what you're doing is you're establishing agency. Right now, you're in control. The idea is that you're building that ability over time. So the 10-minute rule becomes the 12-minute rule, becomes the 15-minute rule. And you're learning, wait a minute, I can actually delay gratification. Remember, all these problems of distraction are an impulse control issue. So when you teach yourself, wait a minute, okay, I can delay for 5-10 minutes. That's no big deal. You're proving to yourself, hey, I'm not addicted to these things. I'm not powerless. My brain isn't being hijacked. I do have control as long as I use these practices.
I realize that addicts are some of the best people on earth if they can just get clean. So it changed my whole perspective on addiction. I'm so thankful for that, man. When I see somebody struggling with that, drug addiction or alcohol, and never do I look down upon them because I know they're just bound up with these chains, man. And if they can break these chains, they're going to be some of the best people on earth.
One of the most remarkable real-life examples I've ever witnessed of the power of belief in God. I have a good friend who for many years struggled with alcohol and drug addiction of multiple kinds. Incredibly kind person, incredibly successful in his career, married, 2 beautiful children, multiple relapses. Crashed his truck at 7 in the morning after getting intoxicated at 6:30 in the morning. Got out of that one, happened again and again, multiple rehab centers of the sort of standard treatment, etc. And then ultimately enough happened within that whole set of circumstances that his wife said, you know, this is it. You've got to solve this or we just can't be with you. A very scary situation for everybody involved, including him, right? Who absolutely adored his family. He told us, his friends, that he was going to go to a center here in Los Angeles that treats addiction with essentially religion, a belief in God. He was already fairly religious. Most Sundays he attended church and things of that sort. And you can imagine we all thought, including myself, like, okay, dude, like, good luck. Yeah, I hope this works, but like, I would say 0 - 1 confidence in his ability to get and stay sober. He just had not succeeded prior to this. He's been sober more than 4 years now. He got out of there and never looked back.
Sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. That's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it. But unless they're willing to let it go, to sacrifice it, they make no headway whatsoever. And so one of the rules is, if people are impeding your development, you sacrifice your relationship with them, right? It's a very, very rough rule.
You're much more than that experience. So that these words limit your capacities, your potentials. It's like when somebody says, I am an alcoholic. Well, no, you're not. You may drink a lot, and you may harm yourself, but that's not who you are. Who you are is a person who's had a lot of pain, and you're trying to draw on your pain with the alcohol. But you're not defined by that behavior. You're much more than that.
Alcoholism wants you alone, it wants you sick, and then it wants to kill you. An addiction. And it took over decades of my life, and I pray to you, if you worry that you're having this problem, or you know somebody that is, raise your hand, find somebody who's smarter than you about this, and talk to them, and be honest about it, because the secrets are what kill us.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, my ambition is to become a drug addict and break the law. I mean, think about it. It's a response to pain. And this whole belief that addiction is a choice is so unscientific as it would be laughable if its consequences weren't so tragic.
I'm so tired and I feel hopeless about getting back in the program, and I think that's the main reason I'm calling you, because I don't know how to get that hope going again and believe that I can do this one more time. I just don't know how to live sober. It scares the hell out of me. Right? All these kids depend on me, and that's a lot of pressure, and I'm just trying real hard.
But what was right about it? What did it give you in the short term that you wanted? So what did it give you?
Oh, well, with alcohol, it was like a sense of belonging and relief, and it was a way to turn my brain off.
Okay.
And to escape.
Okay, when do people need to escape?
When they're stressed.
When they're suffering?
Yeah.
Okay, so the addiction wasn't the disease that you had. It wasn't your primary problem. It was an attempt to solve the problem of emotional pain and isolation. So my mantra on addiction is, don't ask why the addiction, ask why the pain. And if you understand the pain, look at the person's life.
There's a series of actions that occur before you take your cocaine. Some of those are local. They're the things that happen immediately before. Some of those are distal. They're farther back in the chain of events. And when you have a hit of cocaine, it produces a dopaminergic burst, and that feels really good, but it also makes the circuits that were immediately active before that grow. That's what reinforcement is. And then the growth is proportionate, not linearly, but it's proportionate to how long before that event occurred. The closer it is, the stronger they're going to get. But even the ones that are somewhat distal get some reinforcement. Because you might say, well, what did you do before you found your latest fix? And the answer is, well, how long before? Well, the closer, the more rewarded. And so what happens then is that, so if you take that person out of the normal environment, you put them into a treatment center, they're off their physical addiction, which is a weird thing in the case of cocaine, but like not that long. A week will do it, 2 weeks for sure. Even heroin and alcohol for sure, if you can get them through the seizure part without dying. And so they're done. They aren't physiologically dependent anymore. But you let that person go, and the first thing that happens is his old friend, who he's always out doing drugs with, shows up, and bang, he's craving like mad. And that's because that thing in there is not dead at all. And it's activated by the cue, and it's a circuit. It's a personality. It only wants one thing. It wants cocaine. It's going to suppress any non-related thoughts, and it'll use lies. That's no problem, especially if lies have been reinforced, which they certainly have. Where are you off to, son? You know, you'll have a lie for that, and then 10 minutes later you have your drug, and so that little lie has just grown. Or maybe you think you tried to quit, you think to hell with it, and every time 10 minutes before you take your drug, you think to hell with it, and you do that 1,000 times. Well, believe me, the to hell with it circuit, that sucker is strong.
Seek the reality of everything. Don't get seduced by appearances of anything. Second would be, don't be afraid of your pain and don't run away from it. I don't like it because I see that it's causing you harm, but it's your life and I'm here for you.
Yeah.
What's insane is you got this habit. I'm gonna be in your life, trying to cajole you, change you, influence you, force you, coerce you. That's called codependency.
Yeah.
And that just creates resistance and resentment and doesn't get you anywhere.
I used to tell young people, they'd come, especially at this time of year, Pastor Jude, I'm trying to break this addiction. I have this awful habit. And they kept focusing on the addiction and the habit. And I came up with this phrase in the 90s. I said, make God your habit and he'll break your habit. Make God your addiction, he'll break your addiction. Stop focusing on where you're broken and start focusing on how beautiful and amazing Jesus Christ is.
What is sane is to say to the person, you got this habit. I'm sure there's reasons in your life where you feel at this point that this is the way you need to go.
I say we have a lower self and a higher self. You can recognize this. Your lower self comes out when you eat junk food, when you spend 2 days just playing video games all day, when you don't get your work done, when you're lazy, when you're not nice to people, you feel kind of bad. You feel kind of ugly and rotten. You may not admit it to yourself, but something doesn't feel good about it. But when you have discipline, when you spend 3 months getting in really good shape and you get better habits, when you complete a project, when you work well with other people and get something done, you're tapping into that higher potential that each human being, every single human being has.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, my ambition is to become a drug addict and break the law. I mean, think about it. It's a response to pain. And this whole belief that addiction is a choice is so unscientific as it would be laughable if its consequences weren't so tragic.
I got sober when I was younger, in 2001. I thought, I want to just drink like a normal person and I want to have wine at dinner and so on. I was able to for about 8 years. I started to drink more and more and more, and it was really hard for me to accept that meant I was an alcoholic. I was like, I can just go back. I was fine before. I just need to take a break. I just need to slow down. I'm okay. You know what I mean? This isn't me. I never thought I was going to get divorced. I didn't want to get divorced. I didn't want to be a divorced person. I really didn't want to be a split family. And I wasn't who I thought I was. And that was so painful and so disappointing. There are things that I would love to go back and change. I have regrets. I made plenty of mistakes, some big, some small. I wish I could go back time and change all kinds of things, but I can't.
Is this going to make me better? No, it goes. Is this going to help my life? No, it goes. Is this going to create a brighter future for those around me? No, it goes. And it's simple as that.
If you want to break a bad habit, then you just invert these four. So rather than making it obvious, make it invisible. Unsubscribe from emails. Don't keep junk food in the house. Reduce exposure to the cue. Rather than making it attractive, make it unattractive. That's the hardest one. Rather than making it easy, make it difficult. So increase friction, add steps between you and the behavior. I've tried this new thing where I keep my phone in another room until lunch each day. Usually it's like 9 to 11 or so in the morning. My phone is down the hall. It's in a different room and I'm in my office. I'm like everybody else. If my phone is right next to me, I would check it every 3 minutes just because it's there. But if it's down the hall, it's only 30 seconds away, but I never go get it. And I always think that's interesting. It's like, did I want it or not? In the one sense, I wanted it badly enough that I would check it every 3 minutes when it's right by me. But I never wanted it so bad that I'd go work 30 seconds to go get it. And I found that a lot of habits are like that. If you just introduce a little bit of friction, they kind of curtail themselves to the desired degree.